All these seven aspects are involved. One is the sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, and feedback. Okay, so this is known as the process of communication, or else the elements of communication. Okay, both are the same. And now coming to the objectives of communication. So what are the objectives of communication? So under objectives of communication, all these seven concepts can be studied. So first objective is known as to transfer the orders and directions. For this purpose, okay, communication is used. So to transfer the orders and direction in any organization, definitely there exist orders and directions. So all these orders and directions can be communicated through different levels of management, through different employees. Okay, so the main object of communication in an enterprise is to transfer the orders and directions of the officers of the enterprise to the workers who have to implement these orders and directions. So we can say that without communication, all these orders and directions cannot be implemented by the employees or workers in the organization. So for that purpose, communication is needed. So another second one is, what is the second objective means to establish coordination. So coordination is very important aspect in any organization. Without coordination, we cannot see the enhancement of the organization or growth of the organization or performance of the organization. If at all there is good coordination between the employees, then only we can see the productivity in organization. So this project productivity results in the profits of organization. Therefore, so in order to establish coordination, if at all why? Because in an organization many employees will be working. So if at all so many number of employees are working, means definitely there should be a cooperation and coordination between them. So how can we improve the coordination and cooperation? Means by having an effective communication tool. So it establishes effective coordination between various activities of a department and various departments of an enterprise and various people in the organization. So definitely communication is needed in order to get coordination between the departments, between the employees, between the levels of management, etc. Okay. And another one is development of managerial skill. So managerial skill, in order to increase the skills of the managers, communication is very important. Why? Because communication helps managers to understand the behavior of his subordinates. Okay, so through communication only he is unable to know the or else understand the behavior of subordinates. Then managers may receive the information regarding the facts, ideas and opinions from the subordinates. Then the manager can know what is going to happen, okay, and when they occur. So this will develop the skills of the managers, okay, by knowing, by having communication with the subordinates. Definitely it leads to the development of managerial skills. Coming to another one, development of employees also, not only the managerial skills but also the employees. So employees, in the sense, it helps in the development of employees because it provides necessary information and direction to the employees from time to time, by which they can come to know the best method of doing their job. So we know definitely organization means it involves orders and directions. So those orders and directions will be implemented by these employees. So without proper communication by the superiors to subordinates, okay, the work cannot be done in an organized manner, or else the purpose of the organization cannot be achieved without effective communication. Okay, so definitely whenever there is a good communication, definitely it increases the performance of the employees, because they will act according to the directions and orders of the employees from superiors, okay, from time to time, which by which they can come to know the best method of doing their job. So if at all they have to complete their assigned work within a proper time, means definitely they will have some discipline in their work, okay. So definitely it enhances the uh, skills of the employees also, okay. And communication also helps in solving their day-to-day problems also, not only their personal development, but also if at all there are any grievances regarding the employees. Okay, definitely all these also can be communicated to the top level management through communication. Okay, so another one is increase in moral. So increase in moral means this definitely communication is helpful in boosting the moral and motivation of employees working in an organization. So motivation and moral of employees largely depends on the effectiveness of communication network in an organization. Okay, so if at all there is a better network in the organization, if at all the superiors are communicating with the subordinates effectively, means definitely it increases the morale of the employees. Okay, so it definitely motivates the employees. If at all it is effective communication, means definitely it leads to the positive environment in the organization. Motivational levels increases, morality of the employees increases, loyalty of the employees increases. Okay, but there should be better communication network in the organization. So sharing of information, experiences, viewpoints with superiors, means all these leads to a better communication. Okay, so these provides satisfaction to subordinates, particularly on concerned matters. Okay, so definitely when there is a positive environment from the superiors to subordinates while sharing the information or sharing their experiences, or else the viewpoints regarding the assigned work. Okay, so all this definitely provides satisfaction to the employees. So definitely it increases the motivation as well as the morality of the employees. Okay, next one is increase in production. So increase in production means it depends upon these only. It depends upon the morality, it depends upon the coordination, it depends upon the development. Okay, so all these leads to increase in production. So definitely communication helps in providing necessary guidance and direction to the employees. So it teaches them the best methods of doing a work. Okay, as a result of this, the production of the enterprise increases, the quality of production improves, the cost of production is reduced to the minimum. Means here we will see the efficiency and effectiveness in organization. Means efficiency and effectiveness in the sense optimum utilization of resources with minimum cost. Okay, so cost of production will be reduced, quality of production will be improved. Okay, so that is known as the increase in production. Okay, but at the end of the day all these depends upon the communication. So communication means how the superiors communicate with the subordinates. Okay, effective communication means definitely it increases the production. And coming to the last one, to implement the ideas. So implement the ideas means communication is the media of implementing the ideas of executives. Okay, so the plans, the rules, policies, strategies, etc. are decided by the top management of the enterprise. We all know we have three levels of management. So top level management makes the plans, rules, regulations, policies, strategies, etc. So all these are planned by the top management and they are executed by these middle level management. Okay, implemented by the middle level management and are executed by the lower level management. Okay, so while the actual implementation of these plans and policies is done by the workers, communication provides a link between the management and workers. Okay, so definitely in order to implement the ideas of the top level management, definitely there should be effective communication between the top level management to lower level management. So another last objective is, in order to implement the ideas, definitely we need communication. Okay, so these are all the objectives of communication. Now coming to the importance of communication. So what does importance of communication means? So communication means we all know it is an important tool in process of management. It influences every function of management. Managers are at various levels use communication system to plan, organize, direct, control, activities and efforts of people. Okay. And if we see in our daily routine work also, face-to-face communication in organization will be maximum 70%. Okay, every organization should build an effective system of communication for facilitating job performance and promoting satisfaction among people. So in we can say that in according to the words of Coons and O'Donnell, it is no exaggeration to say that communication is the means by which organization activity is unified. Through communication only, the means, okay, all the means in organization activities will be unified. It is the means by which behavior is modified, change is affected, and goals are also achieved, okay, through communication. So through communication we can see all these, the behavior of the individuals, okay, changes also affected through communication, and finally goals are achieved. So here behavior is modified means, if we see for example development of employees, so development of employees can be done through proper effective communication by superior to subordinate about his performance of the work. Okay, so definitely if at all the worker is not to the optimum level, so a feedback will be given by the superior to the subordinate, and the subordinate tries to enhance his work performance. So definitely the behavior is here modified, and this change is definitely affected in the production. So this production finally ultimately results in the achievement of the goals of the organization. So we can say that communication is a means to achieve organizational goals. Okay, this communication unifies the whole organization. Okay, so therefore importance of communication means definitely it shows a large extent. Okay, it is very significant in the organization, its importance is very large extent. So coming to what aspects can be studied under the importance of communication. So first one is smooth working of the enterprise. So smooth working of enterprise, in order to get good working conditions in the organization, effective communication should be there. So effective communication means, as I said before, communication means just passing information from sender to receiver. Effective communication means from both, there will be upward direction and downward direction, both will be seen in the communication. That means two-way communication. For example, top management sends plans and policies in order to execute by the lower level management. At the same time, if at all there are any doubts, any grievances, their grievances will be explained to the top level management through a proper channel. Okay, so likewise two-way process, if at all there is a two-way process, definitely it is considered as an effective communication. So for this smooth functioning of enterprise, there should be effective communication, then it will be successful, smoothful and unrestricted working of enterprise can be seen. Okay, so it plays an important role in all types of organization. It solves a lot of problems in case of complex organizations. Okay, so the successful completion of tasks on part of the superiors depends upon the nature and flow of communication they receive from the subordinates. Definitely, so if at all the tasks are completed very early means, definitely there will be a good effective communication by the superior to the subordinates. The flow of communication the received by the subordinates is in a good manner. Okay, so similarly the work of the subordinates also to a large extent depends upon the communication they receive from the superiors. If at all the superiors have not communicated properly how to do the work, at what time they have to complete that work, so if at all this is not communicated in a proper way means, definitely the work will be in pending. But if at all the superior have communicated that how to do the work, at what time they have to finish, okay, what are the standards of the work. Okay, so if at all everything is communicated in a proper well manner means, definitely the subordinate will work according to that. Okay, so definitely we will see at the end of the day smooth working of the enterprise. Next one is, so for that sense importance of communication is very important. Coming to second one, quick decisions and implementations. So quick decisions and implementations means if at all there is any miscommunication between the managers and the subordinates means, so decisions cannot be taken easily, implementation will not be in a proper manner. We cannot implement or else execute the plans very fastly. Okay, so quick decisions also cannot be taken. But if at all there is a proper communications, okay, then it will be possible. So managers need information, reports and statements from various sources for formulating plans and taking various decisions. Okay, so in that process, the managerial decisions and plans are to be communicated to the subordinates. Okay, so, however intelligent the personnel may be, it would be of no benefit if higher level management cannot effectively communicate the policies and decisions to them. So, the effective implementation of the plans and decisions depends upon the nature of the communication. So, the implementation of policies and programs of management is possible only through the effective communication. Okay, so that is why it is said that communication acts as a lubricant and it keeps all individuals working as per the expectations of the top management. So, finally, we can say that quick decisions or implementations can be done when only the top management conveys or communicates properly to the managers. Why? Because managers are the persons who will implement those plans and policies through the lower level management. Okay, so the needed information to the managers like the reports or statements, they should be properly formulated according to the plans and they have to be given to the managers. Okay, so they have to take quick decisions according to those plans and procedures. So in that process, communication is very, very important. We have to communicate properly to different levels of management. Next one, coming to coordination. So this is another important aspect why communication is needed. Okay, so without coordination, we cannot do well in any organization. So better coordination should be there in a working employees in an organization. So communication means of it is a means of achieving coordination. In every organization, various activities are to be divided and subdivided among several departments and employees working there. So all of them have to work in well coordinated manner for achieving the common goals of organization. So coordination can be maintained among various related departments by making exchange of information on regular basis. So for example, production and marketing departments can achieve coordination by exchanging and sharing related information. Okay, so depending upon the marketing conditions, the production should produce the goods. Okay, so likewise it depends upon the sharing of the information between the departments. Effective communication should be there, good communication should be there, so coordination can be achieved. Okay, so thus communication is really an aid to coordination, we can say. Okay, so another one is direction and leadership. So what does direction and leadership means? Managers perform their direction and leadership function both through communication system only. Okay, so if we take direction means the orders and instructions should be communicated to the subordinates. Okay, if we go for leadership means definitely he should influence through communication only his subordinates. Okay, likewise communication plays important role in all these functions. So manager has to perform the direction function and both leadership function also. So communication plays important role. Communication system is used by the managers to clarify organizational and departmental objectives, policies and programs, or else issues instructions and job assignment to their subordinates. Each and everything has to be explained by the managers to the subordinates. Okay, so for example, departmental objectives, we know that we have organizational objectives, departmental objectives. The departmental objectives should be explained to the subordinates. Why? Because subordinates work under particular department. We have different departments like production department, marketing department, finance department, HR department, likewise. So each department can be holding some subordinates. So those subordinates, first of all, they have to know what is the departmental objective and what are the organizational objectives. So they have to work according to the departmental objectives, policies and programs. So all this has to be properly, effectively explained by the managers to the subordinates. Then only they can work according to the objectives and policies of the organization. Okay. So they also use the communication system to advise, guide, and assist the subordinates on which, how, when, and where jobs assigned are to be performed. Okay. So the modern concept of leadership exercised largely by persuasion rather than the command places a great premium on communication, we can say. Okay. And coming to another one is managerial control. So managerial control means, for this, to have a control also. Okay, communication is very very important. So managerial control function, this involves the measurement of actual performance, comparing it with set standards, and taking corrective actions in case of deviations if any. So from first introduction class, I'm saying controlling means we are evaluating the performance of the employees with the predetermined standards with actuals. If at all there is a low performance, so definitely, the if at all there is any deviation in the work, definitely the managers will communicate to the subordinates. Okay. So to enhance their performance, to do the work properly. Okay. So for that, this in order to exercise manager, uh, this communication will be very helpful in order to perform the controlling function by the manager. So the communication system plays a critical role in managerial control function also. The control process is lubricated through the communication of information at all relevant points wherever necessary. So this communication is taken. Information with regard to plans, programs, budgets, all is to be communicated to managers responsible for determination of standards of performance, and also to subordinates who have to meet them through various operations. So communication plays very very important. Okay. So while communicating to managers, at the same time while communicating to subordinates also. So in managers way, we have to explain about the budget, what are the plans, programs, etc. And regarding to the subordinates way, we have to see how they are achieved, or do they achieve the standards of the work. So what is their actual performance and what are the predetermined standards. So all this can be communicated properly. So under controlling function, communication plays very very important role. Next one, coming to management of change. So whenever there is a change, definitely there should be a communication to be is needed to explain why the changes are made in the organization to the employees. Why? Because employees are the first persons who will reject those changes. Okay. They will not be very positive towards the changes. So communication is very much needed when there is a change in organizational systems or structures or processes or practices, anything. So the objective of proposals and programs of organizational change, its elements, implications, should be communicated to the persons who are likely to be affected by it. For example, as I said before, if there is any technological advancement, so if at all our organization is implementing or adopting technological advancement, okay, so we have to convey that in a very positive way to the employees. We have to adopt that technological advancement, so we will give you training regarding that aspect. So likewise we have to convince the employees. Okay. So that is done in a proper communication only. So what were the elements, what were the implications of that change, okay, what is the proposal of the programs. So we have to communicate each and everything with them, then only they will have some positive attitude towards the change. So all this could be happen only by having an effective communication, okay, with them. So management can sell its ideas and reduce resistance to change through effective communication, we can say. And coming to another one, training and development. So this is another important aspect regarding communication. So communication is vital for the orientation and training of both workers and executives also. So training is not only given to workers or else lower level management. Okay, so all levels of management is given. Executives are also given the training. So in modern industry, training and development of personnel is an ongoing process. So the degree of learning depends not only on the contents of the training program, but on how effectively the knowledge and skills are transmitted. Okay, so how effectively they imparted the knowledge and skills to the trainees. So communication is knowledge, and without knowledge employees remains ignorant. So training and development, under this also we need good communication, effective communication. So without effective communication, it cannot impart knowledge or skills to the trainees. And coming to another one, builds public image. Okay, so through communication we can build the organization's image. Okay, we can enhance our organization's image through public relations. Okay, public relations are also improved through proper communication, as many outside parties, like we know customers, communities, financiers, suppliers, government agencies, all deals with the organizations. Okay, so all these need to be supplied required information on various matters related to them. Okay, so by furnishing proper information on profitability, financial position, problems faced by the organizations, or else its contribution towards the social development, we know that CSR, corporate social responsibility, like good public image of organization. So all these can be lead to good public image, or else organization can enhance its public image. Okay, through giving full information regarding the organization. Why? Because it gives trust on the organization, confidence on the organization by the public. Okay, so definitely, if at all we have given our financial position, our profitability status, or else the whatever the problems faced by the organizations, so and our contribution to society, so if at all we are properly communicated, means definitely it enhances the image of our organization. Thus, the management can create good image among the public through effective communication. Okay, and another one, help to cope with changing business environment. So changing, cope up with business environment. Changing business environment means communication helps organization to cope with rapidly changing business environment. So by generating and compiling information on the various aspects of environment, and timely supply of such information to managers. Okay, whatever is going on the external environment, whatever changes are going on in the external environment, each and every information should be communicated to the managers, because those are the persons who are going to implement the plans and policies of the organization. So definitely they have to be communicated what is going on the on whatever the changes are going on in the external business environment. Okay, and communication helps them significantly in developing suitable strategies to cope up with changing environment. If at all they know the what is going on the external environment, if at all there are, if at all there are any technological advancements, or else if at all there are any legal issues, if at all there are any changes in the government policies regarding our industry, so if at all they have any information communicated, means definitely according to that they will change the strategies, suitable strategies, in order to cope up with the changing environment. Okay, so for this, communication is very very important. And another one is helps in conducting global economic operations. For this also communication is important. Globalization is very very important in organizations. Now we are going for globalization, so definitely communication is needed. So globalization of business operations have increased the need and importance of communication, we can say. For a successful executive, it has become necessary to be aware of communication procedures and covenants to get required knowledge of different cultures which are prevailing in various countries. Why? Because we are going globally, we are going to sell our products in other countries also. Definitely our managers has to know about other countries. If we are going for example Americans, so if at all we want to sell our product there, means definitely we have to know the style, we have to know the culture of the people, everything. So accordingly we have to change our products. Okay, so America, for example, Americans are comparatively direct in their communication style as compared to Japanese, who use ceremonial details for making communication. Okay, so faster and sophisticated means of communication contribute to globalization of business operations. Definitely. Okay. Next one, human relations. So human relations means in order to secure maximum productivity with minimum cost. So this is the main of any organization, with maximum production, okay, minimum cost. So there must be perfect cooperation and trust among management and labor. This is known as a human relation, better human relations. So whenever there is a perfect cooperation between the people and the management, between the management and labor, definitely it will leads to productivity in the organization. So how could this happen? Means a sound communication enables workers to express their grievances, which reduces tensions and industrial unrest. Most of conflicts in industry arises due to misunderstandings, okay, or else motives, ignorance of facts, okay, what is going on in the organization, and what are the people who are working in the organizations, what are their perceptions, and what is actually happening in the organization. So the misconceptions or misunderstandings, the motive of industry may be different, and the perception of the employees may be different. So the conflicts may arise, but if at all the what is going on in the organization is properly communicated, means this helps to minimize the friction and to maximize the mutual understanding and cooperation between the management and the labor. Okay, so definitely effective communication definitely increases the human relations. That is nothing but the better relations in the between the management and the labor, or else the workers in the organization. So all these can be considered as the important aspects of the communication. And coming to factors responsible for growing importance of communication. So what are the factors that are responsible for growing importance of communication? So the communication function has become very complicated these days, and it has become indispensable for the survival and growth of the modern industrial organizations. It is definite. Communication means it is definitely, it should be followed, it should be adopted by each and every organization in this modern era. Why? Because we are dealing with globalization. Definitely we need to know each and everything about what is going on in the external environment, and according to their cultures, according to their values, okay, we have to move on. So therefore definitely we have to know what are the factors that are responsible to grow the importance of the communication. So first of all, if we see what is the first factor that is responsible for importance of communication, means why it is important. Communication is why it is important means large size organization. If at all modern organizations have grown in size and employ a large number of people to achieve their objectives, okay, definitely employment of large number of personnel has given rise to more than 10 levels of organizational hierarchy. If the organization is larger, means definitely the levels also increases, the hierarchy of organization definitely increases. Okay, so whenever there is more level of organizational hierarchy, means definitely it creates problem and on coordination. Okay, so the better coordination can be achieved only with the help of an effective system of communication. Okay, so what is the factor? Means if it is a large organization, definitely there should be a effective communication. Why? Because in order to get coordination between the employees to get activities done. Okay, if why? Because large size organization means more number of employees will be there. More number of employees means more levels of organizational hierarchy will be there. So if at all there is large number of hierarchy, means definitely the communication should be properly communicated to each and everyone, because in order to done the activities coordinatively. Each and every department should be coordinated. The views, the information should be exchanged between the departments with coordination only. So if at all there is no coordination, means we cannot see the production. Okay, therefore effective communication should plays important role in this large size of organizations. Coming to second one, technological advancements. So what does technological advancements means? The modern era is characterized by rapid changes in technology. We all knew that. Why? Because due to globalization, now it has increased very much technological advancement. So a big understanding cannot afford to ignore the latest technology if it is to survive in the long run. But application of new technology is not an easy task because of the resistance offered by the workforce. Okay, from initial class, I am saying if there is any change in the organization, definitely the first person will be the workers to resist that change. So the effective system of communication can help the management to overcome the resistance to change on part of the workforce. Management can keep the workforce fully informed about the latest developments, and the management should educate the workforce regarding the uses of new developments. They have to convince the workforce that it is not only useful to the organization but also it will be useful to them personally also. Okay, so all this can be done. Okay, all this can be communicated properly when we use the effective communication between the management and the workforce. Okay, so next one is growth of trade union movement. So what does this means? Means workers have organized themselves into trade unions in almost all industries. We know each and every industry have their own trade unions. So management must keep good relations with these trade union leaders because each trade union has a leader. So all this management should have a good communication, good relation with those trade union leaders if it wants industrial harmony in the enterprise. If at all it doesn't want any conflicts, definitely it should have a good rapport with the trade union leaders. Okay, so whether managers like it or not, they have to share their views with the trade union leaders and pass on the information to them in the interest of the enterprise. So a good system of communication between management and trade unions can help in developing mutual understanding and an atmosphere of cooperation in the enterprise. So for this reason also, for trade union movement also, this leads to the importance of communication. And another one is emphasis on human relations. So in every organization we have workers. Without workers we may not run the organization. So workers are no more considered as a commodity. Okay, we should not treat them as a thing, but the nature of employment relation has changed from master servant relationship to we have to change it to partnership relationship. Okay, so workers are the shares of the prosperity of enterprise. No management can manage effectively the workforce if it does not understand the needs, perception and feelings of the workers. The organization may not sustain. Okay, so definitely the organizations should have concern on workers. Okay, uh, not they should not treat them as a commodity. So the desire of the modern managers to have better understanding of human behavior has increased compared to the traditional management, industrial managements. Okay, so now nowadays managers are very much positive towards the workforce. Okay, so they have increased the significance of the two-way communication in an enterprise. We all know two-way communication means both upward and downward communication can be seen here. Okay, so next one is the last one, other factors. So the idea of social responsibilities of business or the developments in the fields of sciences like sociology, psychology, etc., also have increased the importance of communication in organization. Okay, so this is all about the factors responsible for growing importance of communication.